The following video is an excerpt from the 2021 Craig Boddington Endorsed Outfitters virtual trade show. A special thank you to Craig and his team for putting the event together. This is the first in a series of 2 videos that will help you prepare for your next safari. Thank you, and enjoy!
Well, thank you so much, Kevin, and I'd like to just thank Craig for allowing me to participate in this. 20 years ago, I sent a note out to 10 different outdoor writers when I made my first set of shooting sticks and asked them to provide a little bit of coverage. And there was one writer that actually put any ink into that effort, and that was Craig. So he's a plank holder of African Sporting Creations, and he's been with us since day one. So thank you. It's a pleasure to be here tonight, and thank you all for coming. We're going to talk about 2 different topics. One is safari prep, and then we'll talk about trophy room decor with an emphasis on antique African spears and shields a little bit later on. We're going to talk about safari prep with our big 5. So we're going to talk about footwear, shooting sticks, targets, and ammo carriers, and then bug repellent and first aid. So what we like to do is give you all the information you need to prepare for your safari, all the gear you need to enjoy a safe and successful safari, and then after it's all done, when you want to weave the fabric of Africa into your life, you can get all your different African-themed furniture, jewelry, and other items to outfit yourself and your trophy room. So we'll start with Courtney Boots. Jim Carmichael was a neighbor of mine in Johnson City, and he had gone on multiple safaris, and I asked him before my first safari, what's the most important things I need to bring? And he said, after a good rifle and a scope that you're comfortable with, a comfortable pair of boots. So Courtney Boots have a cult-like following around the world, and with good reason. So they go back to the Rhodesian Bush War. And Chris Rice, who was the founder of the Courtney Boot Company, was called up every other weekend to patrol, and the government army-issued boots were falling apart. So and then other people in his unit asked for those boots, and that's where it all began. So they have their iconic tire tread design, and the reason why that's on every boot that is you see that has that aggressive hunting tread is because during UN sanctions, the only rubber tread he could find were old Land Rover tires in the junkyards, and that's what he cut his treads from. So Courtney boots are an all-leather boot, so there's no synthetic in them, which is really important when you're going over to Africa and it's very hot, because synthetics tend to trap moisture, and then moisture tends to give you blisters. They're available in a variety of different widths now. So one of the comments we got from our customers was that they're too wide. I'm only a D width. So about 2 years ago, we introduced a regular width. So now they're available in both D width and double E's for wide folks. They are cut relatively flat. So if you have a high instep, we recommend that you put a pair of aftermarket insoles. We recommend the sole insoles. And the reason why is because they last longer than any other insoles that we've come across. The 10th Mountain Division and the Green Berets are issued them when they were over in Afghanistan, and they just work really great. When you're talking about boots over in Africa, gaiters go hand in hand with them to keep the seed pods out, because if your pH is on the spore, he's not going to want to stop for you to go ahead and get all the seed pods out of your socks, which can drive you crazy. So you'll want to have a pair of gaiters. We offer 2 different styles. One that is a zipper model, and I prefer that because you can put them on after your boots. If you get the lace-up versions, you have to remember to put those on before you put your boots on. And the first time I went over there, I remembered about 1 out of every 3 days. So those are the Courtney Boots. They're available in a wide range of hides. So you can get them in Nile crocodile here. They're available in gray and brown hippo, tan ostrich, Cape buffalo in both two-tone and brown. And then the suede kudu veli is their kind of desert boot. They also come in 3 different soles. So there's a smooth ripple stalking sole. There's kind of a middle-of-the-road cleat sole, which is great for everyday use, but still thick enough to repel thorns over in the bush. And then, like I said, their iconic tire tread, which wears like iron. The pair of boots on the table that we were showing you just a few minutes ago, because I wear a pedometer, it almost has 10,000 miles on it. It's never been resold. It's never been refurbished. And these boots are built like an old pickup truck. So they're a little bit heavier because of all the rubber that goes into the sole. But my wife's first Toyota minivan with run flats needed a new set of tires at 11,000 miles. I think these boots may go longer than that. So Courtney Boots are a fantastic product. Again, no synthetic, all leather, and they're just great for Africa. They're also equally at home in the Texas and the Southeast, and I wear my boots all year long. They are not waterproof, but they are treated at the factory to be water repellent. Okay, so the next thing we're going to talk about is shooting sticks. And a lot of people say, oh, I'm not going to bring my own shooting sticks. My PH has them. And then when they get back from that trip, we usually get an order. When you talk to the old-time PHs, the reason why they started pushing shooting sticks is because the amount of game that was being lost and or wounded. So when they went to insisting that their clients used shooting sticks, many of them said the number of wounded animals was cut more than half. So the biggest difference between our shooting sticks and every other shooting stick out there is that the connector is milled from a solid block of aircraft aluminum, and it simply screws together. It indexes on 3 different points, so it has tremendous strength. And you can see it's got a little rubber gasket in the tip that compresses with the last half turn. So when you're bouncing around in a safari vehicle, your sticks won't come apart. We offer them in a wide range of models with a wide range of materials. So this is what we call our super compacts. And this is actually a favorite of Craig's. But you can use the top section alone from the prone position. You can attach the top section to the bottom section and shoot from the kneeling or sitting position. And then all 3 sections you can use standing up. So a lot of versatility there. These sticks are all made one at a time by myself at the shop in Ohio. And we've made them for 4-foot youngsters and 6'8" NFL players. So making everything in-house gives us the flexibility to customize product. This is just a set that shows carbon fiber, which is really light and very rigid. And you can see we have custom-made brass inserts that pin the legs top to bottom so that you never come apart and you never have to worry about the legs filling up with water and getting heavy. When you think about shooting sticks, these weigh less than 3 pounds. Most sticks out there are twice that. And the other thing is most shooting sticks are aluminum. So those aluminum tubes kind of clang together and they can sound like a dinner bell. And a metallic noise out in the field is a very unnatural noise for animals. So when you have wood and you have noise bumpers top and bottom and they don't rattle and you have pencil sharpened tips on the bottom, it makes it real easy to be quiet and also to make sure they're light enough to carry all day long. Okay. Next, we're going to talk about ammo carriers. So this is from Els Company, and you can see it has adjustability. So I like this because you can wear it over a jacket in the morning, and then when you lose your jacket in the afternoon, you can cinch it back down and wear it over a t-shirt or a thinner shirt. So this is a setup, has an open pouch with exposed ammo, extra ammo in a closed pouch. It's got a Leatherman holder. It's got a wind check, which is another name for a fancy ash bag. And then it's got an Arno Bernard knife in Warthog and Cape Buffalo. But really heavy duty leather, and they make it also in a completely leather package. But I like the canvas because it's a little lighter, a little bit more flexible. And so this goes on over your existing belt. So at the end of the day, you can just take it off, hang it, and then go for that first sundown. Okay, in terms of targets, we just came out with some interactive targets. So this is a little Cape Buffalo. We also have an elephant. So it's got a reactive popper in the back. So every time you hit the bullseye, you know instantly that you've hit the right spot. It comes with a 3-foot stand that's angled downward so the bullets go into the ground. And it's just a way to make plinking a little bit more fun. So spend a lot of time at the range. And if you can't, before my first safari, I just set up a little range in my basement with a pellet gun and just shot to get the trigger control down. But pulling the trigger on anything is better than not going over there practicing at all. About 35% of our safari orders come in for 2-day delivery. So it says that a lot of folks have very busy schedules. They can't get enough practice in. So if you can't get to the range and shoot your big bore stuff, make sure you're shooting either a 22 or something that just gets that trigger control down. And I would wear my gear, get used to using, the belt and getting your ammo out, and also get familiar with your shooting sticks. Okay. Next, we're going to talk a little bit about bug repellent. So if you're like me and you get welted up pretty good, you want to figure out what you're going to do to avoid that. So the 1-2 combination that we recommend is picaridin and permethrin. So picaridin, the reason why it's where you put it on all your exposed areas, and we like it better than DEET for a couple reasons. One, it's a lot better against biting flies. So if you've ever been bitten by a couple tsetse flies, it gets your attention. The other thing we like is that it lasts 14 hours versus 8 for DEET. So typically with DEET, when the bugs come out, it's starting to lose effectiveness, and that's when you need it the most. We also like it comes in individual packets, so you can keep track of where they are and put an extra one in your pack. And then most importantly, for those of you that take a nice gun over there, it's less caustic on synthetic, lacquer gun finishes. So DEET sometimes has a tendency to take that finish off. Picaridin is a bit more forgiving. And then for your clothing, we recommend permethrin. So, and the reason why is because this protects your exposed areas. This protects all the areas that have clothing over them. And where this becomes really important is most of the animals that you take over in Africa are going to have ticks on them. As soon as that animal passes, those ticks start looking for a new host. And they start that search usually about the time you're taking photographs with it and you're in contact with the animal. So they have what they call pepper ticks over there that won't make you really sick, but they'll give you flu-like symptoms for a couple days. So that's why if you keep the permethrin on and the picaridin, it's easy on your gun stock, lasts 14 hours, and it'll make sure that those critters stay off you. If you're staying up all night in a leopard blind, get a head net with a floppy hat to keep the bugs off you so you don't have to smack at them. And in the event that you do get bit, put a little afterbite in your kit to take the sting out. In terms of first aid, what we recommend is you bring over just a small first aid kit. Okay, so you never know when you're going to need it, and in many cases, when you do need something, that particular item is used up, and for sanitary reasons, you don't always want to share someone else's medical kit. I had a customer went to Tanzania and got a blister, and it got infected, and it cut his trip short by about 7 days. So a little bit of blister medic, if you're not used to walking long distances, can go a long way. If you're on blood thinner like Coumadin, you're going to get nicked over there. So take a little Cheeto Sam bandage over, so you don't have to worry about stopping bleeding with any degree of difficulty. The other thing I always take over there is a Leatherman Micra. And the reason why I like the Micra is because it's the smallest Leatherman that has both tweezers for getting thorns out and scissors for cutting blister moleskin. Okay. So that's kind of our big five. The most visited part of our website is our essential gear checklist and safari prep information. And that was compiled with the help of over 100 folks who cumulatively went on over 500 safaris. So it has a lot of information in it. This is in our catalog that we send out. So if you have any questions or information that you're looking for, that's a great place to start. So Kevin, are there any questions that have come in or?
Yeah, absolutely. We can kind of start those now. Real quick, I just put that trip planning information directly into the chat so you guys can click on the link. And of course, there's links directly to African Sporting Creations. One of the questions is, I have thick, wide feet, 9.5 F and MK3. How hard is it to get fitted for Courtney Boots and get a pair that actually fits properly?
Okay, great question. So what we do for first-time Courtney customers, if you order one pair of insoles, one pair of boots, we send you 2 sizes of the boots and 2 insoles. And that way, 75% of the people are going to take one size. The other 25 are going to take a different size. So we send out both on the honor system with the thin and the thick insole. And that way we can fit about 95% of the people. And F is kind of wide. But if you look at these boots here, I'm a triple E. And you can see that in a new pair, you can see the stitching all the way around the toe and the side. These have stretched out so you can't see any of the stitching, and it's kind of equal with the sole. So breaking in for extra wide feet may cause you a blister or two, but they do stretch because they are an all natural leather boot.
Fantastic. Packing.
That send out an extra pair, without payment because we have the best customers in the world. So I saw the number of people who have registered, and a lot of you are on here, so thank you for attending.
Outstanding. Outstanding. Packing the shooting sticks, will they pack down into your gun case?
Okay, so the shooting sticks come down into 2-section sticks. Will fit in this 36-inch case, so they'll fit in any rifle case. If you're shooting a blazer or something that is even more compact, the 3-section sticks, what we call our super compacts, will break down to 18.5 inches.
Outstanding. Outstanding. What are the different woods in the shooting sticks available?
Okay, so hickory is our go-to wood. It's the same thing that axe handles are made out of, and with good reason. It's the most bend-resistant, dense American hardwood available. When you go to the exotics, we tried to pick a variety of really interesting wood. So we have leopard wood that looks like, it has spots on it, if you will. We have African Shadua, which is in the teak family. So if you're hunting Alaska and you need something that's water resistant and also very, very beautiful, that's a great choice. And then we have Brazilian Jatobá, which is a long, hard, very straight wood. And it's the same thing that they used to make blowguns out of because it wouldn't warp or twist.
Very cool. Very cool. You mentioned bringing a journal. What's the one thing... that's the one thing I wish I'd brought when I went, was somebody wrote. Do you have a specific kind of journal that you recommend?
We do. We have a relatively small Bible-sized journal. It takes an A5 insert, and it's all leather, and it's in our Els Company section. So that's a great kind of book to keep your notes on.
You mentioned earlier the Els ammo belt. What is the weight of that canvas pack?
The canvas one, the belt alone is less than a pound. And the reason why I know that is when we ship it, we always put the minimum weight in.
Fantastic. Are those exotic woods in the shooting sticks more bend resistant than the hickory?
They are as bend resistant as the hickory, and in the case of the Jabtoba, actually a little bit more. But keep in mind, when you're on shooting sticks, a lot of people think you have to press down and really put a lot of force on those sticks. That's not really necessary. They're just another point of contact. So if you're pressing down and exerting yourself, if that animal doesn't cooperate and come out when you think it is, you're going to start to shake a little bit. So actually, your better groups are going to be when you don't press down and you just use that as another point of contact. One of the things that we're just developing now is our Fly's Eye Bipod, which is a set of shooting sticks that has 2 points of contact. So during field testing this summer around the house, most of the chipmunks that went away were headshots. So it gives you a lot of stability for people that really want a little bit more accuracy. And those are going to be launched in the first quarter. But again, most shooting stick shooters, especially the first time, put a lot of downward pressure on them, and you don't have to do that.
Fantastic. Is the wood on the shooting sticks sealed or varnished?
It is. So there's 2 coats of poly on them to seal them. And in the case of like the carbon fiber, we make sure that there's no gaps for water to get into. So if you use them to kind of, ford a little creek or something like that, you don't get any water in it. And keep in mind that all of our shooting sticks are unconditionally guaranteed for life. So every other shooting stick on the market typically has a very conditional 1-year warranty. The reason why we can offer an unconditional warranty is because the connector is the strongest part of the entire mechanism. On other sticks, the mechanism is the weakest part, and our average customer has bought 6 other sets of shooting sticks before they finally invest in the last pair they'll ever buy.
Fantastic. Do you have a specific rifle case that you recommend for the Airlines?
We don't. So any of the only thing I would say about the case is if you're out buying a new case and you're going to travel internationally and in the U.S. with it, keep in mind that you used to be able to get away with 1 lock on a case. Now what they're saying is if that case has 5 lock openings, they want 5 locks on it. So my suggestion would be to find a case that has 1 opening so it's easy. Carry a spare lock with you because if they cut it open because they lose the key or they can't get it open, you'll want to have one because they won't let you check a case without it being able to be locked. So I've used Tough Pack, I've used Strong cases, I've used Ameri cases in the past. They've all worked very well. And it's really what you can get your hands on locally that works out best because shipping those cases is very, very expensive.
Fantastic. I know you alluded to this and I know it's covered, but somebody asked, can you customize the shooting sticks for someone's height? This person's 5'4" and find most shooting sticks too big to use.
Whatever, we've made them. I don't know if any of you have seen the email blast we did this summer, but there's a young man out in Reno, Nevada, Tice, And we made his first set of shooting sticks when he was 4 feet tall. And then we made another section for him when he was 5 feet tall. And then we made another section when he was 6 feet tall. So we can make them any height. We've made them for NFL players that are almost 7 feet tall, and we've made them for 4-foot youngsters.
Fantastic. Is there any limit on the calibers to shoot off the sticks? Like, can they handle a 470 nitro double rifle?
All of the sticks are made for dangerous game rifles. So, I think that the limiting factor is how much recoil you can stand.
Outstanding. And a stick is just going to hold the barrel, so it's really not taking the recoil of a rifle. It's to lay the rifle on top of.
And the other thing to keep in mind about shooting sticks is the best way to develop a flinch is to lock yourself into a bench and get pounded trying to sight in a rifle. So doing it from the standing position, you get to roll with the shot. So if your range has an area where you can stand off to the side and set them up, it's a lot more pleasant way to set up a big bore.
Yeah, Jim, can you hear me now? This is Craig. Yeah, listen, if you can break these things through recoil, you're a better man than I am. I carry them everywhere. I took them to Mozambique one year and used Bill Jones's 500 Jeffrey, which is a really unpleasant thing, and shot a buffalo off your sticks with it. But we shoot them a lot on the range. We practice with the doubles and with the big bolt guns, and that's never been a problem. Now, there is one thing, and this is important because I use hiking staffs, but when I'm carrying the sticks, then I use your sticks as a hiking staff in one hand. And what it's really important to do is his comes with a kind of like a woman would use for a ponytail, but I keep the bottoms of the legs tied together. It doesn't take but a second to remove that. And as long as you do that so that one leg doesn't come free and can catch, then there's really no weak point on them. But when you use them as a hiking staff, you want to keep the legs secured so that one leg doesn't come loose and then get caught, because then you have only 1/3 of the strength. And we use them all the time. I love them. And I didn't really realize that when you got started that I was able to help you out a little bit, but we have used them a lot for a lot of years.
Fantastic. Thank you, Craig.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to look for part 2 of this segment and learn about safari decor items for your home, office, or trophy room. Visit our website at www.africansportingcreations.com to learn more about the products we covered today and how to properly prepare for your next safari.